Packers 2-0. A lot of people think they're one of the better teams in the league. Let's start what the Browns defense needs to do, because defense is the strength. So when you look at them, what do you see with the Packers?
Well, first of all, you're going to see they got to get a hat on Jacobs. Jacobs, a guy who's got 42 rushes. He has some big runs, but what he does is right there. And what they need to do is like what the Commanders did here. They got to continuously get in the backfield and penetrate. That's where he's been real good. So if you look here, this is just wide zone. This is, LaFleur is a Stefanski from the Shanahan kind of tree. They have to penetrate and they have to get in the backfield. Now, the good thing for the Browns is that they match up very well with this, especially with the injuries to Watson and Reed. They match up very, very well with this Packers defense. This Packers offense. And what they got to do is they got to figure out a way to get a couple turnovers. So when you look at the keys to the game, that was assuming that the Browns are going to get some turnovers. The Browns are going to win on first down. There's some other things, but for the Browns defense, they got to make Jordan Love beat them. As good as he is, and he's been really good, he's not the two quarterbacks they face. He's not Joe Burrow, and he's not Lamar Jackson. So they got to make him win the game. If he does it, then you tip your hat to him.
Yeah, and you mentioned the guys they're missing in Jaden Reed and Christian Watson. Those were really their two number one receivers the last 2 years. So Watson's been out with a knee injury. Reed broke his collarbone. So they kind of spread the ball out too, which creates its own issues for the Browns. That he hit 8 guys in their last game with passes.
Well, this is very similar to Stefanski. It's a system-based offense. It's not a player-based offense. What I mean by that is that they're not trying to, they're not trying to Cooper Kupp it and get it to him as much as possible. This is a system. So when you don't have those elite players, you're still okay because you have a system, and that's kind of what Stefanski's hung his hat on. An understated thing about the Packers is their tackle, Tom. If he's been banged up, he's been in and out. If he doesn't play, the Browns' defensive ends should have a really, really good day. Again, the defenses should control this game.
All right, now we've mentioned what the Packers don't have in terms of pass catchers. What they do have is a pretty good tight end who looks like he's just getting better and better, Tucker Kraft.
Well, yeah, and they got Musgrave too, but Kraft's a guy right here. You have a corner route, really good off play action, just as when Jordan Love is at his best. And then you're going to see here, this is 3 verticals to one side. One of my favorite plays when I was coaching. Very hard for a defense to cover, especially when you can get in those run sets. Now, similar to what Stefanski does, LaFleur likes to get in these big sets, these big personnel groups, and create matchups against guys. Now, I think the Browns match up very well. I think Delpit can cover these guys. But if there's 2 of them, Delpit's really got to focus on getting on Kraft. Musgrave's really good too, but Kraft's a guy kind of reminds you of Njoku and Fanning. He catches the ball well, he blocks well, just a really good football player, and LaFleur does a nice job of scheming it up. And with their lack of receivers, even though Wicks has played much better, I think Golden's coming along. The tight ends are what they got to stop early and often.
And really, they didn't face Isaiah Likely, and Gesicki's been okay. In years past, tight ends have been a problem for the Browns. They haven't been the first 2 weeks, but Cincinnati was a little banged up, and Baltimore was really banged up. So this is going to be a challenge relative to tight ends.
Well, and LaFleur does a really good job with that play action, the Browns are trying to do. So when you're really good on play action, those linebackers and safeties are thinking run first, and just one hesitation, thinking getting your hat in the backfield or something like that, allow these guys to run by you. So those tight ends are very good, and I expect them to be more involved now with the injuries on the outside.
So the Browns' defensive line has gotten, they made life very difficult for 2 really good quarterbacks. You alluded to it. But Love is kind of still ascending. So, and I'm not taking anything away from the Lions' defense. I'm not taking anything away from the Commanders' defense. This Browns defense is playing at a higher level than either of those defenses.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, especially in that front 7. Now they gotta figure out what they're gonna do in the back end because they've had some injuries. But I'm completely with you. And if you can get Love off his spot. So I look for pressure inside an A and B gap. I think they'll move Miles down there. But the great thing about the depth of this offensive line is you don't have to move Miles anywhere. You can just find the matchup you want. It could be inside, but there's 4 other guys that can rush the passer too. And that's the success you're seeing with this defensive line is that they're good all across the line. Schlesinger's been good on that second level. Delpit's been good on the second level. Bush has been outstanding at the second level, and Diabate is getting better. So it's a great front seven, and it is a better front seven than the Packers have seen by far.